Hi Pisces friends, my name is Annie Botticelli and welcome to my June 2020 Astrology Pisces Must Knows. We have 2 out of 3 eclipses in this cycle occurring this month. We have Mercury Retrograde and Venus is still in retrograde. Plus we have the second of 3 connections between the outer planets Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn, which are 2 of the troublemakers that have been causing the mischief that we've been having going on with this craziness in the world. So we have a very action-packed month. My goal for this video is to help you understand these energies, how they roll about, what that means specifically for Pisces, meaning how they interact mathematically with your placements, and other things that I think you need to know to have the best month possible. So this month reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever learned to crochet or knit or watch somebody learn this, but in the process of learning, if let's say you're trying to make a scarf, which is like an easy thing you can start with, that over the time of getting the scarf getting longer, that the one side is like, you don't have enough stitches and it's like making this angle up. And so if you want your scarf to look right, you have to take out all of the rows until the point where you first made the mistake in counting your stitches. Okay, so this month is very much like that. A lot of things that were stitched together are going to become unstitched. Things that were glued together are going to become unglued. And things that were kind of cemented and think that were done are going to be unhinged. All of this is for better and worse. So we're going to go through some of the specifics about the dates of the aspects of note and what Pisces can expect from these placements. In general, it's important to understand about the retrogrades that it's a time for looking inward and backward and keeping your efforts pretty close to you. It's not the time generally to be pushing something out into the world, forcing agendas, trying to keep the normal pace of, active, forward moving, getting stuff done in a linear fashion type of, overscheduled life experience. It's a time to reconsider things, it's a time to reconfigure things, and it's a time to draw in and feel more than do. And the things that you do are going to be usually a little bit closer to your being rather than trying to push things out in the world. So this is a summary of the dates to note that we're going to discuss. And remember that if you want all of the aspects, a written list of all the aspects and what types of energies, what sign they are, what planets are making the connection and what you can expect from those, then you can sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. And I write a report monthly, which I send out a month early, that gives even more of the dates to note and what you can see come along with those things, as well as a write-up of the whole month to kind of just understand it. But we're going to focus on these for this reading. So June 2nd is when Mercury retrograde shadow period starts. And if you've been watching my work, then you know that I'm very insistent upon understanding these shadow periods. Shadow periods are like a pot of water beginning to boil. The heat is on. It's not reached the boiling point yet, which is where the retrograde would begin. But there is this brewing every day between June 2nd and June 17th or June 18th, depending on your time zone, when it actually goes retrograde. So you can look up, if you look up Annie Botticelli, Mercury Retrograde, you'll find resources that I have to really well equip you for this transit. We're not going to spend too much time on it here, but just know that the nature of personal planet retrogrades, like Mercury we have this month, like Venus, often results in plan changes, often results in miscommunications, specifically for Mercury, and confusion and topics of like your cars, mobility, questions and topics and communications, arguments, old things not, figured out, and things with devices tend to come up. So you can see this whole month is covered in this energy of retrograde. And then on June 5th, we have the first eclipse. And again, if you've been watching my work a while, then you know that these eclipse energies, they brew weeks and months even before the actual eclipse. So I've been preparing you for this. And so if you watch the May report, I'll tell you exactly where Pisces is going to see that lunar eclipse at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. And then I'll give you instructions in that video on which other resources I have to even better equip you for that. But suffice to say for this reading that this June 5th eclipse is not in a friendly angle to Pisces placements. It's in a square. That's a challenging angle. So positive things could come in still, but usually it would be with a hard tilt or a bittersweet energy. But not to worry, the other two eclipses that we have, so 2 of the 3 are actually in nice angles for Pisces. But this one could be a little bit tough, definitely could make you feel more tired, interfere with your vitality, make you feel like you're sacrificing something of yourself or your identity in order to move forward in a way that's often non-negotiable. So all Pisces will feel that as kind of a discomfort, a stressor. But the ones that have closer to 15 degrees, so between 10 and 20 degrees, and the closer into 15 degrees you have, or like the days around March 1st through 10th with a closer concentration, more like in the middle, the 4th, 5th, 6th, those are going to be hit the hardest from this eclipse. And you can see more details with the information that I gave you. Okay, so we talked about that. Now, this Mercury retrograde is going to be from June 17th or 18th through Okay, so we've got June and July covered in Mercury retrograde. If you can keep your plans flexible, keep your scheduling light. You know, I don't know who is going to be in quarantine by the time this comes in, but I do know that regardless of what the situations are, whether they're online plans or in-person plans or whatever it is, that scheduling light, keeping commitments low, keeping plans flexible, keeping agreements to short-term or bridge agreements are better indicated for this June and July. But at least the retrograde is in an aspect that is in a nice aspect for Pisces placements. And when I put the charts on, I'll just show you the visuals for the things that we're talking about. So that increases the chance that the things from the past that Mercury retrograde will bring up will be sweet for Pisces because the angle is going to be sweet for you all. All right, so then we've got the June 21st, 20th, 21st new moon solar eclipse at 0 degrees of Cancer. This again is in a nice angle for Pisces placements, and especially those of you the first 5 or so days of the sign, or 0 to 4 or so degrees, if you're watching for your moon or rising. That is, you know, for everyone in the zodiac going to bring in new energies of home, new energies of family, new housing options, new things having to do with home-based work. And that's not just because a lot of things in the world are moving towards home-based work. It's because Cancer eclipses, especially solar eclipses, tend to bring that in. So you might have a solidification of, more of a home base and new beginnings in a sweet angle for you. Okay, so then we have between June 24th and 25th, Venus is going to go direct. We've experienced the Venus retrograde energies from around April 10th because of the pre-transit shadow period, and it's going to extend until the end of July. Venus rules love, beauty, and money, and design, and beauty, and self-esteem. So I've written so many and recorded so many resources. If you just search for Annie Botticelli Venus Retrograde, you will have more than you know what to do with. And I do recommend that you thoroughly listen to those. And also in the May report, I give more information about that, because it actually goes retrograde in May, but the shadow period started in April. And so things called into question or things back from the past in the love or relationship issues or relationship opportunities, design projects, self-esteem, design, decorating, things like that, and money and relationship to money is going to be very strongly highlighted. And that aspect of Gemini compared to Pisces is not in an easy angle either. So the questions that come up from the Venus retrograde are going to, have a little bit more of a discomfort to them. So June 30th, we've got the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. This is the second time that this is happening of 3 passes this year. This is part of why this whole year is so transformational. It's because the planet Jupiter that expands and the planet Pluto that rules death and birth and rebirth and transformation are getting together in the sign of Capricorn, which rules systems, and it's part of the breakdown of the systems in the world. And this has been trending for so long, especially since 2008 when Pluto went into Capricorn. And to see more on this particular topic, definitely search for Annie Botticelli, How the Astrology of 2020 Explains the Coronavirus and the Systems Breakdown. Because I have like an hour and a half, super long, surprisingly insightful piece on this where you can understand more about this aspect. But I do, expect it to carry a lot of intensity. And the first one happened the beginning of April. This is the second one. The third one will happen in November, which is part of why I was talking about this, like the whole year of 2020 being part of this storyline of the new way of things going that seems to be instigated by the coronavirus, but is really astrological in nature. Even though it has created a lot of mischief, Jupiter and Pluto getting together in Capricorn doesn't only have to create problems with money and finances and body systems. I mean, like, this can also affect your physical body systems, your skeletal structure, because Capricorn rules that. But it can also launch ships of dreams in as far as like career and start new opportunities that come to you. The eclipses might bring new things. So while I'm letting you know that like in the retrograde is not always the best time to launch something that you want to be long term. It could be fine for something short term, like if you need something to hold you in between the madness, like a bridge job or a bridge business that may evolve and change. It's fine to start things that may be short term as long as you know that they may have that short term energy. But it also could have to do with eclipse opportunities coming to you. If things come to you in a retrograde, especially when there are eclipses that are involved, it could be okay to say yes to those things because they came to you. They're not you out trying to make something happen. It's something that you were sitting waiting and it came to you. Okay, so those are those highlights. Go to anniehelpsyou.com and definitely sign up for my free email newsletter to get more details about the aspects and what you can expect. Okay, so now we're going to look at the charts, and I'm going to just show you a visual of some of the things we talked about and go in a little bit deeper with this. A lot of what I talk about will be true for all Pisces, but there are going to be times that I differentiate out into early, middle, and late, depending on what is relevant for you all. So basically, our February born 0 to 9 degrees. My readings are also just as poignant for Pisces rising and Pisces moon. So if you know your degrees for those placements, early would be 0 to 9. Middle degree Pisces around March 1st through 10th and 10 to 19 degrees. And late is around March 11th through the rest of the sign, or 20 to 29 degrees. Those of you in that late degree bucket are very often either having a staggered effect where something is going on for the earlier placements, and you're going to have it happen too. It's just going to take a little longer. And sometimes, like when we're looking at eclipse placements, it's just in a completely different area of the chart for you people in the late degree. And I have late degree placements. My sun and moon are late degree in different signs, but that's how I came to understand that when I would be reading horoscopes back in the day when I read horoscopes, that it didn't seem like it was right for me, and I couldn't understand why until I started understanding astrology more. And then I saw, oh, right, because my chart doesn't really look like that. So those of you in that late degree, we'll be thinking about you and adding things in as relevant. But for now, I'm just going to talk about some things that are true for all of you and give you the visuals about the things that we discussed before. Okay, so these planets in Gemini make this 90-degree angle, 1, 2, 3. So there's 30 degrees in each sign. 3 times 30 is 90. 90-degree angles are diamond-making aspects. They're the crunch time. They're the catalyst. Pisces energy is receptive in nature, meaning it tends to feel more like it's waiting for something to happen than it is actually trying to make something happen. Now, some of you late degree placements or people who have other like fire in your chart separate from these Pisces placements, you might find that's different for you. But pure Pisces energy is more receptive. It waits for things to come. It, is not as proactive sometimes, and that can be a great thing sometimes, and that can be a challenging thing sometimes. But in any case, when there are squares like this, it like puts pressure on the way that energy moves through you. And the way that energy moves through Pisces is through the emotional plane. And Pisces energy also moves in this spiral. Okay, so just gotta give you a little reminder about this. understanding the way that energy moves through the sign, the energetics of the sign, really can help you understand how energy moves through you and what best to do with it. So for many reasons we're not going to get into now, Pisces moves in a spiral that moves down. Okay, so it's centrifugal. Centrifugal means outward seeking. Okay, so like if you ever look at a centrifuge, one of those blood spinners, or the gravitron, that crazy carnival ride that like throws you back against the wall, that's a centrifugal force. And so the centrifugal force pulls away from the center. Pisces energy pulls away from the center. So in order to best deal with the stresses in the world that are global, the stresses in your individual experience, understanding this outward seeking nature can be very helpful. And again, everything has this positive, negative polarity. There are many beautiful ways that this polarity works for you. You're receptive to insights. You're empathic. You're tuning into other people. It's others oriented. It's connected to the quiet, lesser seen realms, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful aspect of Pisces. But when the stress comes in, the way that you can antidote the way that this energy moves, especially when it's in this square pattern that we talked about, is to solidify your center, okay, to pull things back into your center. One of the really great ways to do this is a very simple yoga pose called Standing Mountain. You can research it. Standing Mountain is also especially good for plantar fasciitis. If you have problems with your feet, I know I've personally healed plantar fasciitis, which is a very painful foot issue, with the Standing Mountain pose as the core practice. So like when you feel like sand is coming out from the bottom of your feet, like you're at the beach, which Pisces has a lot of feeling like that. It's kind of like this downward spiral. It's like the sand is dribbling away and you're like trying to go deeper and you're sinking deeper, Anything you can do to strengthen your feet and strengthen the ligaments and the bones and, everything in your feet are going to help you to feel more grounded. And also to antidote any negative feeling of like depression, of this spiral, emotional spiral down, you can do uplifting things, like instead of listening to a tragic romance, like maybe a Pisces might like to sometimes, you can listen to uplifting things. You can just always remember this force where it's going out and it's going down. So the more that you can pull in and go up, whatever practices can help you to do that and shore up your grounding, are going to be how you can stand strong when the aspects are not as favorable for you. And as you've seen, if you've watched my reports for a while, the profiles for what we go through each month are very complicated. Much more complicated probably than you would hear about in most horoscopes because, well, it doesn't really matter why because, but it's just because I go into these things, right? So the point is we're going to have positive factors at work for each of the individual signs, and we're also going to have challenging factors. But if you understand how the energy profile works, then you can match, strength when you need it, and then you can go back into your natural flow when you don't need that extra shoring up. Okay, so we've got those squares with those Gemini placements, and then we're also going to have, let's see, going to use the middle chart, but again, we're talking about for everybody. So we have these squares here, and then that eclipse, that 15, actually it's going to be there. The 15-degree eclipse is going to be in a square as well. And I talked about earlier which ones to especially watch out for with that, and definitely watch the May report to see exactly where that hits for early, middle, and late, and reference to the resources that I've created. I'm an astrology teacher, so I'm encouraging people to go deeper into astrology, and I create lots of resources for that. So I always give you homework if you choose to accept it. So that eclipse is going to be kind of in a hard angle, So you've got the Sag energy, you've got this Gemini energy that's creating what's called a T-square. And a T-square is, like things acting on you from both sides that are in a challenging angle. So that's definitely going to be happening this month, and you will be feeling that. One of the other factors there is this Gemini retrograde, right? So that retrograde is actually acting within that square profile. But now I've given you some ways to help you shore up your energy during that process, and you don't have to fear it. That's what I'm hoping for. One of the things that bothers me the most, and doesn't make me mad, it makes me sad, is when somebody feels like if I talk about something that could be a challenging angle, they say, this month is going to be bad, that's depressing, where they're missing the point. The point is to understand what's happening so that you can prepare for it. Like if it's going to rain, bring an umbrella. So this month is going to have aspects that are going to be rainy. So you bring your umbrella and then you can enjoy the rain, and you have your rain shoes on and you can enjoy the rain and splash around and have a good time and work with the energies, and you come into it prepared, knowing that you're going to have to work a little bit. Okay, so the Mercury retrograde, that's happening in a nice angle to your placements. Okay, so that's going to be 15 degrees back to 5 degrees. So that's pretty much everybody. The people who will be most affected by that are about a few days into the sign, up until around the 5th or 6th of March. Or 5 to 15 degrees if you know your placement there. So those of you in that placement, you're going to have more of a chance for sweet things coming from the Mercury retrograde, because it's going to exactly kiss your Pisces placement. The rest of you aren't left out of the potentials because it's still flowing in a sign that works for you. Okay, so we like this news about things that work for you, because we talked about the other things that don't work as well. Now, on the list of the other things that work for you are the 2 other eclipses. So that June 5th eclipse is in that Sag configuration. We talked about that. Then we've got the second eclipse between June 20th, June 21st, and that's going to be at 0 degrees. Okay, Cancer. So the 0 degrees of Cancer is going to be positive, friendly energy for all of the Pisces placements, and it will especially be good for those of you within the first 5 or so degrees or days of the sign. Like those of you right in the beginning are going to have the extra kisses from that. Part of our job for this, my self-appointed job, is to show you exactly where in the chart this is going to hit, because I told you this was my plan. The plan is May, I talked about where the June eclipse was going to hit. June, we're talking about where the second June eclipse is hitting. And then July, we'll talk about where the July 5th eclipse is going to hit. That's the 13 degrees of Capricorn. But again, that's still a nice angle for you. Okay, so for that June 20th, 21st solar eclipse at 0 degrees of Cancer, the last Cancer eclipse in this cycle, for you early degree placements, that's going to be on the edge between the 4th and 5th house. You're the only ones in the Pisces placements that are really going to see that possibility in the 5th house. Then you can see as we move backwards here, where 0 degrees really falls back into the 4th house. Some of you middle degree placements might have a little whisper in that 5th house, but it's a pretty pure 4th house manifestation. Late degree placements, that's very clearly in the 4th house. So early is 5th and 4th, middle and late is 4th. So for you early degree placements, you will look for my video called Eclipses in Leo or 5th house. And all early, middle, and late degree placements will look for my video called Eclipses in Cancer or 4th house. Okay, and those are also on the welcome page of my YouTube channel, AnnieHelpsYouTV.com, or you can search for Annie Botticelli YouTube and get there, or you can search for Annie Botticelli and then Eclipses in Leo, Eclipses in Cancer, and find lots of details about how that energy manifests. Basically, for all of you, the 4th house is home and family. And since the Cancer energy rules home and family, everyone in the zodiac is going to have this potential, but especially Pisces placements, you're not having it only in the sign of Cancer, you're also having it in the house. So it's like kind of a ×2 of, new things and changes and endings and beginnings with homes, housing, family, ancestry, relatives, anything of origin, genetics, things like that, and home-based efforts, home-based work. And then the early degree placements, you also have that 5th house, kids, creativity, artistic expression, leadership, hobbies, pleasures to the point of addictions, true love, romance. So definitely look up the other videos to get more details about how I've seen eclipses manifest in those placements. As you can see, you've got quite a busy time. Definitely look at all of those resources, the Mercury retrograde, the Venus retrograde, look up the eclipses, and you will definitely be as prepared as possible. Definitely watch the video, Annie, look up Annie Botticelli, how the Astrology 2020 explains the coronavirus, and that will help you understand the bigger picture of why the systems are breaking down, what is happening there, what we can do to have most ease and grace in this time. Definitely check out my book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. That is one of the main areas of focus of my work. And now you can see that, which is published through Watkins Media in the UK. And we've got our distribution partner ensuring worldwide distribution, Penguin Random House. And you can also find my Penguin Random House author page by searching for Annie Botticelli and Planetology. The book is available for pre-order now. So if you pre-order it, when it comes out, it will come right to you. You'll get it quicker that way. And it's just so full of so many details of how, and projects and practices of how you can align with these natural rhythms. And this is what I'm trying to get at when I show you all of these details, is if you understand how the rhythms are and when it's a time to do certain things and when it's not a time, then you can sync up with it instead of pushing against it, and basically get your boat out to sea instead of paddling against the tides. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.